want, and knowing that there's a bunch of different objects that can be put in the slot that follows I want.
I want blank.
That's right, that's right. And that means that he can communicate his wants to us, but it's not as complex as language.
What's this, Alex? Look.
Binary?
What's binary? This is an apple.
Okay, that's Alex's label for the object. Okay, he made that one up by himself. This time we were training him to say apple, and he had begun to say a little puh noise. And then all of a sudden he looks at it and he says, I want binary. And at the time, the labels in his vocabulary for fruits were banana, cherry, and grape.
Binary is a combination between banana and cherry.
Right, and at the time the apple was red, so it made a lot more sense than for the green one.
Like a big cherry.
That's right, which tasted a little bit like a banana.
Wow. How many different words can he say?
Okay, he has a vocabulary of 30 labels for objects.
Mm-hmm.
He knows 6 colors, 5 shapes. He can identify quantities up to 6. And he has functional use of phrases like come here and no, and I want this or want to go there, where this and there are actually appropriate labels. So like when he was requesting I want walnut, he can put any of those 30 different objects in the slot where walnut was. I'm going to see if he can show you that he understands concepts, okay? And we're going to try a little test, and if he does it correctly, I'll explain what we're about. Hey, come on.
What do you mean concepts?
Okay, let's see if he'll do this first. Come on, Alex, look. Can you tell me what's different? You want to taste? Tell me what's different. Okay? Can you tell me what's different?
So you're asking him what's different between the two objects?
That's correct. Tell me what's different.
Color.
Good parrot.
Color.
That's right.
There is a difference between these objects, and the only difference between them, you see they're the same material,
Right.
and they're the same shape.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is their color.
Oh.
So this is a further concept than just simply knowing that, say, orange is a color.
He understands the quality of color.
Correct. Well, one of the things we're trying to figure out is whether he can learn to use English vocalizations to identify different objects, and then once he has a certain vocabulary of English labels, we can then figure out if he can use these to understand concepts, such as categories, in terms of like different colors, what is a color, whether objects that vary with respect to color or shape have particular aspects still in common, and things like that.
How does that help you understand about the bird's use of language?
Because we're using English to somehow figure out what is going on when he thinks about these colors and shapes and materials. Obviously, in the wild, he has to have some knowledge, say, of colors or knowledge of same and different, so that he knows that if this berry was red at this time and it tasted good, another berry that's red at another time is going to taste good as well.
Because it's the same, and it has the same qualities, the same color, the same shape.
And the same flavor,
Right.
probably. Hey, what's different? Come on, what's different?
What's different?
What's different?
Shape.
Good birdie!
Shape.
You're a good parrot.
So he understands the concept of same and different.
Right, and this means that we can now, in the laboratory, get actual data on what's happening.
Because he can communicate with you in some way.
That's correct, yeah. And we're not sure what an animal's concept of number is in the wild. And we're not sure that they need it in the wild. But what we've been able to show is that he can identify quantities of objects if we show them to him. So let's see if he'll do this. Come on, can you tell me how many? Come on, how many? How many? How many?
2.
That's
2.
right. You're right.
That's right.
You're right. There were 2. Yeah, you want a nut. Well,
Now you can get one.
get a small nut.
So this time he said 2. And does he say 2 the majority of times?
Yeah, he's right again about 75, 80% of the time.
Do parrots talk to each other in the wild?
We think they do. We're not sure. A lot of researchers are doing some experiments to determine whether that's true or not. The parrot in particular has what's called a duetting behavior, which means that a parrot and its mate, when separated by great distances in the wild, have a specific code that they use back and forth to locate one another in a big flock of birds. And they've also been shown to use a different code when they're very close together, say sitting next to one another on a perch. And scientists suppose that this is some kind of communication code. Hey, where do you want to go?
I want to go shoulder.
Let's go on shoulder. You want to go on her shoulder? Okay, you can go sit on her shoulder. There you go.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
I love you. I gotta go eat lunch. I'll be back in 2 hours, eh?
Now, 3, 2, 1, contact.